Well, don't you love social media? These are things that are just bubbling up right now. You know what? We're gonna talk about. There's a Libs of TikTok post that came out about furries, and I need to talk about it because it's a very disparaging clip that came out. But there's nothing wrong with this clip whatsoever. There is nothing whatsoever wrong with this clip. First off, Libs of TikTok is a Twitter account that usually showcase a lot of disparaging things that we see in the world today. Usually videos of protests or a lot of other things that we have seen in the political sphere. But this particular post shows someone in a furry head walking past a hotel counter, and there's like a 6-year-old kid that freaks out. That's all it is. And they sit there and go, when did this normalize? When did furries become a normal thing? Well, you know what? I hate to tell you, they've been around since the 70s, so furries have been around for a very long time. It's like going to an animathon or a cosplay convention. It's the same damn thing. They're very normal at this point. But for Libs of TikTok to put that post up there and say, when did this become normalized? Well, you just put it up there. You're normalizing it right now. You're trying to justify, or you're trying to give something normal to a fandom that is very out there, a very different style of expression. They're artists, they're very different people, but at the same time, they're same people as you and me. And I think the more telling thing right here is, what is the parents doing with that 6-year-old kid? Did they sit there and comfort the kid? Did they calm the kid down? No, they just let the kid scream, and then someone videotaped the kid screaming and getting upset over it instead of showing some context here. I don't even know where this was. They were walking past a hotel. So obviously they're not there alone. They're generally not in a hotel alone. They're there with friends, and there's a lot of other things going on there. It could be a local con. It could be a local meetup. Who knows? Who knows? And I don't think we need to know that type of information. I would more worry what's going on with that kid. Where are the parents? It brings up me walking into Toys R Us with my kid. By the way, up here in Canada, we still have Toys R Us. They never went bankrupt up here. They went bankrupt, but they never closed the stores up here in Canada. They made it work somehow. But a couple of years ago, I went into Toys R Us with my kid. I think he was like 4 or 5 at the time. And you've got Jeffrey the giraffe in the store, and my kid literally freaked the F out. He did not want anything to do with this big giant giraffe in a mascot suit parading around in the store. And he's trying, the person that was the giraffe was trying to, befriend and play nice and, just trying to show the kid that there's nothing to be scared of. And, I comforted my kid and I said, okay, well, we don't have to be there. We will walk over this way and you can keep an eye on him. And he kept the side eye on him the whole time we were in the store. But at the same time, this type of thing is not unheard of. You go to a sports game, you go to Disney World, you go to anywhere around the world, and mascots are a thing. So how is this any different than a furry walking across where a hotel counter is? I guarantee you that person in that head, if the kid sat there looking at them, they would have waved, they would have said hi or something like that, and it would have been a very friendly experience and a very fun experience for everyone. And now we have a situation where Libs of TikTok, who is a known account for spreading a political dissidence on stuff, I used to follow that account, and I just stopped because a lot of it is very negative in that sense. Now they have an account where literally they post anything. And I think this is something that's going on here is Libs of TikTok, I would guess at this point, they wanted to rake in a little bit of money on Twitter. And so they put up this random post about a furry and just said, hey, when did this become normal? And this is what the internet does with it. It goes viral because that's the type of account it is. They post viral things. And when we saw yesterday, I spoke about it yesterday, sorry, of the fursuiters at the baseball game. They made it all over social media. They have several pictures. It looks like they had an absolute blast going to a baseball game in their fursuits or in their fur heads and doing the poodling thing. A lot of people have pointed out the main guy that got caught on TV was wearing a sweater from one of the furry cons that were out there. So it's a very, very different style of clip and different thing. And this is everyday life. So what? People want to put on a furry head, a mask, and anthropomorphize themselves into normal everyday spaces. That's like living the dream when it comes to a furry. That's what they are. They want to see more human interaction, more things where it humanizes this type of interaction. And we've seen this throughout our millennia right now, throughout our generations. We have seen movies, we have seen cartoons. Disney is probably one of the biggest anthropomorphized versions of this type of fandom. And, the newer Disney stuff is nowhere near what the older stuff was at all. But you're giving life to animals, and you're giving life, just life, and everything like that. It's now, okay, so this is what life is about. It's living in the moment and living your life and just being carefree about it. And I think that's what it more entails. That kid, that 6-year-old kid that's, had an experience, didn't know what the hell was going on, was freaking the F out. Once again, why aren't the parents there to console that kid and say, hey, listen, it's okay. They're just somebody in a furry head. They're just somebody that's walking around in everyday life, just trying to enjoy his own life. And, his account, the person that this was, his account's been inundated by people from Instagram and Twitter, just, hating on the guy. And you have to sit there and go, he did nothing wrong. He sat there in a hotel, probably where some sort of event was going on, and he walked past the front counter where this kid happened to be. The guy did nothing wrong. That's the worst thing out of this. He put on a furry head and walked past the front counter, and someone happened to catch it on video. This is where social media was a mistake, and the spread of social media really denigrates things like this, and it's really unfortunate at that point. It really is unfortunate that this is where it gets out there. I went through the Twitter, the replies on there, and a lot of them were saying, there's nothing wrong with what this guy did. It's not like he's sitting there and doing a lot of other things that we've seen on these accounts, on social media, where it's literally people being naked and doing this type of thing in front of kids. No, we don't have any of that. It's literally someone walking past a hotel counter in a furry head. That's all it was, and there is nothing wrong with that in this case, because we don't know the context, and B, it's probably was there for a sort of event that is going on. Anyway, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix in a shadow. I'm signing off here. Have yourselves a great day, and don't forget to live in the moment and just, do something to make people smile, because I got to say, this type of thing, it's cool to see. I'm gonna say it was cool as hell to see this guy walking past the counter and just being able to express himself in the middle of a hotel and just say, hey, listen, I'm doing this. That type of thing is kind of fun. He wasn't filming it. He wasn't the one putting it out there. This was some third party that sat there and filmed it and threw it at libs of TikTok, and then they posted online, and it just happens to be coinciding with what's going on in the sports space where furries got caught at a baseball game. Not caught, but furries went to a baseball game and took it in. Like, come on. Anyway, have yourselves a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.